everyone, I'm Gurleen. I hope you're doing well. A lot has happened over the course of the week, and in today's video, we'll be discussing the weekly outlook for the markets, and we'll also take a look at the trade plan for Tuesday, that is May 2nd, 2023 for Nifty and Bank Nifty, and we'll also take a look at Fin Nifty for the weekly expiry. We'll also discuss a few select stocks wherein good risk to reward opportunities are brewing up. So be sure to stick around till the end of the video, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and do ring the notification bell so that you never miss an update. So without any further ado, let's start by taking a look at the technical perspective of Nifty 50 on the weekly time frame. So here on the weekly chart, we had been tracking this harmonic pattern for quite some time, and you can see how Nifty reversed from this level of 16,989, and we'd also been discussing over the last few videos that it's likely for the index to test the levels of about 17,925 to 18,135. Now here if you see that Nifty is close to the previous highs, and this band of 18,115 to 18,150 can be considered as the near-term hurdle for the index, and it might as well face some supply pressure or resistance at these very levels. Also, if you see that Nifty is just 4.4% away from the all-time high levels. So what's the way ahead for the markets? So let's dive in by looking at the daily time frame. Now over the last 2 weeks, we had been discussing that the index was trading within this narrow range, and we were expecting a breakout on the upside, considering that Nifty was in sync with the 200 simple moving average as well, and we also saw how bulls defended the lower levels. Now here you can see that we have seen a breakout, and Nifty has almost tested the estimated levels on the upside. So here in the upcoming trading sessions, for extended upside, the index needs to surpass this price band of 18,115 to 18,180 to further inch higher towards the levels of 18,350 for starters. Now you can also observe multiple rejections from this supply zone, and a cool off in the trend won't be unlikely for the index. All in all, the bigger picture suggests that the immediate support for Nifty can be considered as the levels of 17,850. Now let's take a look at the hourly time frame to understand the trading approach as well. Now here you can see that towards the end of the trading session, though Nifty closed at day high but registered a long upper wick candlestick near the resistance level on the hourly chart. Now this simply means that we might be in for some supply pressure in the index, and in that case Nifty can possibly catch up with these averages on the hourly time frame, and I would look for a short opportunity below this level of 17,962, and in that case Nifty can easily test these moving averages placed at the levels of 17,905 followed by 17,828, and one can also consider these levels to be the immediate trailing supports for the index. Now here, fresh long positions should only be initiated at the breakout of this price band of 18,115 to 18,180 to be on the safe side and not get stuck on the wrong side of the trade. Now let's talk about the support and resistance levels for Nifty. So the support is placed at 17,828 followed by 17,655, and the resistance is placed at 18,115 followed by 18,180. Now let's move to Bank Nifty, starting with the weekly time frame. So you can see that how beautifully Bank Nifty bounced off from this polarity level of 41,650 to 41,800 as we had been anticipating. Now here if you see, the only level that might act up as a strong level of resistance in Bank Nifty is 43,555. Now from the current levels, if you see, the all-time high level is almost 1.8 or 1.9% away. So is Bank Nifty going in for a hit towards the all-time high levels? And if yes, how far can it go? Well, it's possible, and there's an interesting development on the monthly scale. Now here we have a long-term trend line in Bank Nifty, and it has been respecting this trend line for over a decade now. And this time, if we do cross this previous all-time high level, then Bank Nifty can possibly test this trend line once again, registering a high of about 45,000 to 45,500. Well, that's the bigger picture, so let's see how it unfolds. Also, do let me know whether you're bullish or bearish on the markets in the comment sections below. Now, let's dig deeper on the daily time frame to discuss what might happen over the course of the week. Now, since we've seen a breakout in Bank Nifty on the daily chart, Bank Nifty has also given a decent follow through on the upside. Now in the upcoming trading sessions, it's possible for Bank Nifty to test the levels of 43,555 if it continues to hold above the 43,000 mark. And the immediate support for Bank Nifty is placed at the levels of 42,600. Also, considering that Bank Nifty has already come a long way, so it won't be unusual to witness some slowdown or some kind of a supply pressure from the levels of 43,555. Well, the biggest question is that how can you capitalize upon the opportunities that might come along in the upcoming days? Well, to understand that and also take a look at the trading approach, let's move to the hourly time frame. In the last video, we discussed that if Bank Nifty takes out this level of 42,715, then in that case, it can possibly inch higher towards the levels of 43,000 to 43,100 on the upside, and we have seen positive momentum unfolding. Here, you can also see how Bank Nifty is holding on to the hourly moving averages, which is another indicative of the trend remaining intact. So in the near term, if you are positionally long, these averages at the levels of 42,912 and 42,720 can be considered as your trailing supports. Now let's also outline the intraday trading possibilities. Now these are the two reference levels that I will be referring to plan the trades. Now if Bank Nifty breaks below this level of 43,035, then a short opportunity can be looked at, and in that case a target of about 42,920 can be considered in the index along with an invalidation level placed at the high of the candlestick. Now, the other possibility is that if Bank Nifty straight away crosses this level of 43,268 on the upside, then a long trade can be initiated towards the levels of 43,350 to 43,400, and in this case an invalidation level can be considered around the lows. But overall, considering that the index is now close to the supply zone, so some slowdown as well can be seen, and the index might as well test patience before catching on to a trend. Also, there have been a lot of questions that when will we say that the trend is reversing on the downside? Well, for me, I will be considering this level of 42,720 as the reference level or the trend reversal level on the downside. Now for Bank Nifty, the support is placed at 42,912 followed by 42,720, whereas the resistance is placed at 43,555. Now let's take a quick look at Fin Nifty for the weekly expiry on the 2nd of May 2023. Now in the last week, we discussed that Fin Nifty was also trading inside a wide range, and a clear direction of the trend would only unfold at the breakout of the range. So here you can see that Fin Nifty broke out on the upside, and also it has surpassed the 19,000 mark, and we have a cluster of resistances in this zone of 19,250 to 19,300. So for this expiry, it's possible for Fin Nifty to expire within the range of 18,950 to 19,300. Now let's also take a look at the trading approach on the hourly chart. So here, if Fin Nifty breaks below this mark of 19,100, then a short trade can be looked at, and a target of about 19,050 to 18,975 can be seen over here. On the flip side, if Fin Nifty breaks above this level of 19,177, then we can expect a trajectory towards the higher side or towards the targets of about 19,250 to 19,300. But all in all, as we discussed, the range of the expiry looks intact at 18,950 to 19,300. And that's how you can capitalize on the opportunities if it comes along on an intraday basis. Now let's talk about stocks, starting with Bajaj Finance. If you remember, we have been tracking Bajaj Finance from the levels of about 5,900, and we discussed the possibility of a double bottom formation over here. Now in the last few trading sessions, we have seen a good momentum in this counter, and Bajaj Finance has achieved the initial target of about 6170 and is close to hitting the final target of about 6385. Now initially we were considering the invalidation level of 5,705, but now as the stock has started moving in the favor, so the risk can be adjusted accordingly by trailing the stops. The next on the list is Reliance. Now we've been tracking Reliance from the levels of about 2180 and it has almost hit the levels of about 2400 now. Now as of now, the stock is at an interesting point wherein a fresh breakout here at the level of 2424 would call for an open target towards the levels of 2500 followed by 2575. But do remember that it is a conditional bet and it will only get triggered above this breakout level of 2424 and the invalidation level can be considered as 2325. Now let's also take a look at a stock from the FMCG pack, Jubilant FOODWORKS. So there's an interesting point on the daily chart that the stock has held onto this low of 418.75 firmly and it hasn't registered a new sustainable low. Now as of now, it's near to the resistance level of about 450 and looks quite stable. So it's possible for the stock to give a breakout here at the resistance level of 450 and if it does that, then it can inch higher towards the levels of 470 followed by 500. In the near to medium term, the invalidation level at this counter can be placed at the lows over here. Now let's talk about Titan. Now we had discussed Titan in one of the videos over the recent weeks and here you can see that after having broken out of this pivot B, Titan was consolidating in a narrow range when we last discussed it and now it has given a breakout above this range and it is slowly moving forward towards the projected target of about 2732. Now over here the stop losses can be trailed towards the levels of 2558. Another one from the IT pack is Wipro, which we discussed as well as a long-term bet. Now here we discussed that Wipro had registered a long wick candlestick at the levels of about 355, which suggested the presence of buyers at the lower levels and here you can see the recovery that followed after that. Now here the gains can be traded for a higher target of about 395 and the stock looks well placed from a long-term perspective as well. A quick and final update on BPCL and L&T that we discussed as long opportunities in the last week. Now here you can see that the stocks have achieved the targets which also happen to be the harmonic reversal levels and the stocks are also well placed above the hourly moving averages. So here the gains can be trailed with respect to these averages and that's how you can ride on to your winners. Well, that's it for the day and let's see what the week holds ahead. On that note, it's Gurleen signing off. Until we meet again, have a good time.